So what I'd like to talk to you about today is really just a little bit of a definition. Some of the speakers yesterday defined customer experience, and I'd like to share with you my definition of customer experience. Then I'd like to share with you a little bit of the context within which we do this stuff, a little bit of the plan, so talking about the strategy. I also want to talk a little bit about the business case and driving value, and then kind of why this is so hard. I can see a lot of passionate people in front of me, but I don't doubt that your journeys might have been tough and that your journeys might even get tougher as we go to 2020. So, let me share with you my definition.
What is customer experience? Customer experience is the feelings and thoughts that a customer associates with your brand. Customer experience is the feelings sparked by an interaction with your brand and turned into a lifetime of stories that the customer later remembers. Customer experience is the way customers feel about themselves when they interact with your brand. The decisions they make are powered by their emotions, which are in turn supported by the internal narrative. Customer experience is the sum of all the highs and lows, the delights and disappointments. Customer experience is the smells and tastes, the sights and sounds that gets conjured up when a customer thinks about your brand.
So it's really about the story. I think the speakers yesterday so eloquently verbalized. There's an amazing guy by the name of Lou Carbone. He says you cannot not have an experience. It's more about how managed or how haphazard that experience is. So it's very much about those stories and very much about how do I feel about myself when I interact with your brand. It's not really about the brand. How do I feel about the brand? So I want to share with you a little bit about the ecosystem and why this is so complex. So if we start, I think customer centricity is on every agenda, and this diagram kind of puts the customer really at the center. And we're working with what are their needs, what are their stories, what are their problems, and what are their goals. And looking across industries, if we kind of summarize the needs, it's very much around, I want an effortless experience. I want it to be personalized. I want you to know me. I want it to be convenient. And I want it to be respectful. At the basis of kind of time and emotion is creating confidence and creating a respectfulness. So if we look at a great example of people that have looked at customer stories, I want to play you the next campaign that so beautifully illustrates that.
KLM is proud of its customer service, but there's one small problem. You have to fly KLM to experience it. In this problem, we saw an opportunity. Introducing Happy to Help, a one-week, 24-hour day special customer service team set out to help every traveller in need around the world, especially people flying other airlines. To find out how we could track down passengers, we first analysed Twitter for half a year and compiled a list of hundreds of search words. Then, in the campaign week, we set up a control room at Amsterdam Airport and started searching, resulting in close to 500,000 travel-related tweets. Our team read through every single one to track down passengers in need of help. Most problems could be solved in a tweet. Some needed a bit more attention. We had a speedboat taxi ready on the Hudson River to beat New York traffic, a car in Amsterdam to pick up passports, and a motorbike in Hong Kong to track down forgotten items. A green screen studio gave us the freedom to improvise and get super personal.
Hey, Mr. Husky.
Nice, Jane. Mexico.
The local taxi service in Belfast.
If there's anything else we can do, we're happy to help.
We gave Eva a wake-up call for her early flight.
Goedemorgen Eva, dit is je wake-up call.
Provided a comfy bed for passengers who got stuck at the airport overnight. A speed tour of Amsterdam for people who had a couple of hours layover.
Snap your pictures, it will be gone in just a few seconds.
We sang a lullaby for Sean, who suffered from jet lag. Made Billy special LED party crutches for the Amsterdam dance event. Got Jill in touch with her boy band Crush to get her through her delay. And much, much more. The campaign got millions of views and was covered in media worldwide. But most importantly, we helped out thousands of passengers flying other airlines with KLM's customer service.
So they intercepted these stories and gave them happy endings. So I ask you, your complaints teams, if they, instead of thinking that they're the poop scoopers, think about themselves as they create happy endings to stories that might have gone wrong. So the next bit I want to share with you is a little bit about, your organization and how that impacts the customer experience. And we're going to move through a few components that I think is really crucial to understand. The first being the value proposition, and I think, RJ, we spoke yesterday about the 4 Ps of marketing, and I think that's slightly outdated. So we're now talking about the 4 Es. So the first one, creating memorable experiences. Those experiences need to be every place, so omni-channel. An exchange of value instead of just looking at price. And that contagious evangelism that you want to create with your brand ambassador, with the people that patronize your brand. The next thing is around brand promise, and I've kind of simplified this to say that I think brands need to be brilliant at the basics. I spent some time in Denmark earlier this year, and one of my challenges, I said, I'm going to go cashless and I'm going to see what goes wrong. And nothing went wrong. 2 days into my visit to Denmark, everything worked beautifully. If the train says it's going to be there 2 minutes past 11, it is there 10 seconds before 2 minutes past 11. Everything was absolutely flawless. And I think their challenge is with getting all of the basics right. What is that next frontier? And it's really the emotional engagement. I think the worst things that brands can do is launch amazing campaigns that promise things that's not true to the brand, that cannot be delivered. And I think meeting the promise needs to be designed into your journeys. And then what we're seeing around trends is a lot of brands tackling issues that create meaning, that creates a purpose beyond themselves and a purpose beyond profit. And for you guys, you can download all of these slides from the CXN Daba. I see a lot of people writing. Thank you for writing, but the slides will be available. Then if we look at kind of the role that, and we call them brand warriors, whether you're in client service or whether you're in actuarial or whether you are in product design, you're a brand warrior first of all for yourself and then for the brand that you work for. And if you can align the purpose, that's where that magic happens. So this brand warrior has a story and has needs and has problems that they want to solve. And I always say, if we look at Disney, I mean, Cinderella, if Cinderella works in your call center and she's just broken up with her boyfriend, she's having a period, and she just had a rough night last night, you're going to struggle for Cinderella to deliver a brilliant experience. She can fake it only that far. And often, we forget that, where the heart of the customer and the heart of the brand warrior connects, there's a story on both sides. And sometimes when you see conflict and when you see escalation, it's when those stories have both gone pear-shaped. So I want to play you a short piece that I used in my first introductions in 2007 to an exco who said they want to be client-centric. And I think this so beautifully illustrates putting the human back into business. And one of the first questions I got from this exco is it customizable? Can I please have a female version? So behind each of these product features, there's a person. Behind the maintenance of these product features, there's a person. And often we've become so product-centric that we forget about the humans. So the brand warrior's behavior is influenced by a whole lot of things. So if people ask the question about cultural change, often we get called in to say, we got a problem team, can you come and change their behavior? And I go, no, humans don't work like that. You've got to create an environment where you ignite them to be the best versions of themselves. And that's really where human change happens. So we're very passionate. We thought we'd be doing like neat processes, and we're doing like a lot of messy, amazing human stuff. So if we look at kind of the operations side, inside your organizations, they've just got a whole different set of metrics and priorities. And often we find this is fairly disconnected from the marketing folk, from the service folk. So unless everybody unites around the table, and I think that's what's so amazing about John Bliss's book, which one of you will be the lucky recipient of, is she so beautifully talks about how to get that conversation going, how to get everyone to have the customer at the center, and how you can get everyone to be measured on that. So technology, I think again, it's an enabler, and so often we see technology failing because the other things are not in place. And I think the basics there is your technology simple to use, is it integrated, is it clever, is it personalized, and is it solving the right problem? So that kind of summarizes this context within which we're trying to do transformation. Now I'd like to kind of go on to what I think your plan and on your agenda, and I'm going to step through these in a little bit more detail. So starting, I think, crafting a compelling brand story. And again, this is not about the marketing folk coming up with some brand values and a brand story, putting it on a poster and saying, okay, so that's the story. This is much more about collaboratively in your organization, letting everybody craft that story. A story that's believable, a story that inspires. And then the next thing is, I spoke about Volvo briefly yesterday morning, where they say, we just don't care about our competitors. We're so obsessed about our customer needs. And I say this with most respect, Audrey, but I'm kind of getting to a stage where if we keep on asking people the same stupid questions, do you like my product? Are you satisfied with my service? We're going to get the same stupid answers. Yes, no, I hate you, I love you, I just don't care. Rather than ask those questions, or I'm not saying don't ask the questions, I'm saying combine that with using your product. Get every one of your staff to use the product. Let them give you feedback. So let them be customers. Let them tell you what to fix, and engage with real customers. I think one of the journeys I've seen is quite hard is for execs to get out there and say, did you have any trouble today? Well, how was your experience today? Then care for employees, and I think the same methods that we use for customers we should be using inside the organization. I believe happy employees will give you happy customers, happy families. It's been proven that people that are happier are less absent, they're more productive, they're more creative, they solve more complex problems. Then if we move on to design, and I'm not going to talk about design in a lot of detail. If you want to pop into our workshop, we'll show you some of the design techniques. But I think the amazing thing about design is it's free, and you can ignite and allow people to do, anybody can do design. I think often journey mapping is kind of seen as the silver bullet. It's not the silver bullet. I think the skills and the competencies combined with the techniques, and I very much believe in real-time journey design. I think that might be your silver bullet. And I want to quickly show you an example of real-time journey design. So this, I know the guys at the back there, the screen is small. So a guy by the name of Richard Neal posted this on Facebook. He said to Bodyform, which is a feminine hygiene company, he said to them, "Hi, as a man, I must ask you why you have lied to us for all of these years. As a child, I watched your advertisement with interest as to know this wonderful time of the month that the female gets to enjoy so many things. I feel a little bit jealous. I mean, bike riding, roller coasters, dancing, parachuting. Why couldn't I get to enjoy this time of joy and blue water and wings? Damn my penis. Then I got a girlfriend. I was so happy and couldn't wait for this joyous time of the month to happen. You lied. There was no joy, no extreme sports, no blue water spilling over the wings, and no rocking soundtrack. Oh, no, no, no. Instead, I had to fight against every male urge. I had to resist screaming as my lady changed from the loving, gentle, normal skin-colored lady to the girl from The Exorcist with added venom and an extra 360-degree headspin. Thanks for setting me up for a full body form, you crafty bugger. I want to show you how they responded, and this is just an example of real-time design. An amazing thing is you can teach everyone in your call center and everyone in your email team the skill of being able to design real-time.
Hello, Richard. I'm Caroline Williams, the CEO of Bodyform. We read your Facebook post with interest, but also a sense of foreboding, and I think it's time we came clean. We lied to you, Richard, and I want to say sorry. Sorry. What you've seen in our advertisements so far isn't a factual representation of events. You're right. The flagrant use of visualizations such as skydiving, rollerblading and mountain biking, you forgot horse riding, Richard, are actually metaphors. They're not real. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but there's no such thing as a happy period. The reality is, some people simply can't handle the truth. In the past, we've tried to be more honest in our approach. In the 1980s, we ran a series of focus groups to help us gauge the public's reaction to periods. The cramps, the mood swings, the insatiable hunger. And yes, Richard, the blood coursing from our uteri like a crimson landslide. So, we knew we'd have to change our strategy. And so, from that day to this, we have managed to maintain this illusion. But you, Richard, have torn down that veil and exposed this myth, thereby exposing every man to a reality we hoped they would never have to face. You did that, Richard. You. Well done. I just hope you can find it in your heart to forgive us. Oh, sorry, Richard. You did know that we do that too, didn't you? Hello, Caroline Williams. Yes.
Okay, people, and I'm out of time. I'm gonna just wrap up very quickly. I want to be respectful to the next speaker. So, deliver that integrated experience solutions, and rather than measure and get addicted to that cocaine fix of the customer experience world, celebrate. Two very quick, and then start all over again. So, two very quick slides that I just want to summarize with. The business case, if you provide functional and pleasant experiences that create love for your brand, people will stay with you, they'll buy more, they'll tell their friends, and they'll be much more cost effective to serve. And I think this is hard because it's not doing one thing right. It's doing hundreds of little things right. And all that's left for me to do now is say to you that this takes hard work. It takes getting up every morning and following that plan and following that mantra. So if you want to embark on this journey, know that you need to do the work, and you're going to have to get off your asses and do something about this. And with that, I'm going to ask you just to look under your chair, and as you get off your ass to do this amazing customer experience work, one of you have got a sticker under your chair, and you will win that book. And we will, please come to me when we have the break, and we will give the book to you. Lucky winner. Do we have a lucky winner? There should be an envelope under the chair. Look at, there we go. And we have a winner. And with that, I thank you very much. Thank you for playing along, and I say very good. Very good. Yay!